coming up all the time in the last few weeks. Iran, tickets and visas. Nothing to do with football, a lot to do with the current situation, with our host countries, with the world the way it is. So let me say that on Iran, I'm very happy because I went to see myself the Iranian team in Turkey, in Antalya, in March of this year. And when people were saying, well, it would be impossible for Iran to come to the World Cup, I told them and I promised them that they would come, and if I had to go with a bus to Tehran and drive them here, I would do that. Their answer was, we will take the bus ourselves and drive it if need be. We qualified and we want to play. And this is the spirit of football. Now, of course there are challenges. Of course it's not easy. I don't know who else would have been able to ensure that in these circumstances, which we cannot influence, obviously, in these circumstances, Iran could come and play. And when Iran plays, the stadium will be full, and I hope there will be a positive atmosphere, because this is football. This is about people forgetting for a moment their realities and being able to focus on a match and on a team. So I'm very happy that we managed to get Iran to come and play in this World Cup. And I'm proud of the work of my team and grateful to the administrations of the three host countries for having cooperated with us to make this happen. And there are some issues that we are still dealing with, of course, to make sure that everything goes in the right way. The second topic is tickets. And the ticket prices, and are stadiums going to be full or not? You tell me if I forget something, Brian.
Well, don't worry.
Or you will tell me certainly as well. So we sold until today over 6 million tickets. There are always tickets on sale. As you know, we also need always to keep some tickets for those teams who qualify for the additional rounds. The demand has been unprecedented, but not unprecedented by a little bit, but unprecedented by a factor of 10 or more. The number of ticket requests we received has been absolutely incredible, and I want to start there as well by thanking all the fans who bought a ticket, who are buying tickets to come to the World Cup. The World Cup is a unique event, an event that takes place every 4 years. The last World Cup in this part of the world was in the last century, in 1994 for the US, in 1986 for Mexico. We don't know when the next one will be. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and when you are in a country, when you are in a part of the world, you need, of course, to deal with the local habits and the local customs. And let me just say that our entry price, which is $60, is the lowest entry price of any of the American sports in the playoff phases. Our average price, which is below $500, is again the lowest of the American sports. On average, if we take the playoffs, I think we can at least compare the playoffs of an American sport with the World Cup. If you look at the final of the NBA, the Knicks against San Antonio, I don't know how many people are watching that on TV, 10 million maybe, I don't know. The World Cup will be watched by 6 billion people. So in terms of importance, the World Cup is much, much more important. And the fact that when we put these tickets on sale, they go on the secondary market, which is absolutely legal here, and they are sold for a much higher price. This certainly shows that the prices were accurate in terms of the way they have been determined. You can also imagine that these decisions are not just taken like this, somebody wakes up and decides on a price. There is a lot of analysis, a lot of work, a lot of experts who are involved in deciding what should happen. And when it comes to these legal investigations or complaints that were made in some states in the US, let me say there as well that we are very relaxed about it, because before starting to sell 6.5 or 7 million tickets, we check what we do with the best lawyers, with the best experts. If we do something wrong, then probably everyone selling tickets in North America is doing something wrong as well. But because this makes headlines, it's good as well to put it a little bit in a context. And let's say California, who was the first one. I was in Los Angeles yesterday as well, by the way. Fantastic fan fest there at the Coliseum. Sold out for tomorrow. 40,000 people will watch the opening of Mexico, South Africa in Los Angeles Coliseum. Beautiful. So in California, we sold around 800,000 tickets for the games in Los Angeles and San Francisco. Now, out of these 800,000 tickets, we had 3. Not 3,000, not 300, 3 customers who complained. I think a 4th one came since, so it's 4. And all these cases were solved before, of course, these investigations started. So we welcome every investigation. We are happy to present everything, and we are happy to make our case. But what is most important in all of that is that every dollar that we generate goes back into football. If we were, like everyone else in football does by now, selling our TV rights on pay TV, like everyone else, and nobody is shocked about that, then billions of people in the world will not have access to the World Cup. We would generate 4 times more revenues, and we could give the tickets probably for the matches for free. They would still end at the black market and in the secondary market and be sold at thousands of dollars. So we have to strike a balance. And for me as FIFA president, it is important that we invest in all the countries where nobody wants to invest. Who is investing in South Sudan? Who is investing in Sierra Leone? Who is investing in Bhutan or in East Timor or in Vanuatu? Nobody. We do it, and we do it thanks to the revenues that we generate. And when it comes to ticketing in particular, and ticketing in this World Cup in particular, it is also connected with events like concerts, halftime show, pre-match, during the halftime, at the final, which again are connected with the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, where we want to raise money to invest in education, again, all over the world, in Africa, in Asia, in Oceania, Central, South America, everywhere where there is a need is where the money goes. So I thank very much all those who are contributing to make this happen. Now the third point about the visas, also there we have heard and read a lot. Truth is, we have been able, when it comes to the US in particular, where the highest number of games are taking place, to organize with the American administration the FIFA pass system, so a speedy procedure to obtain the visas, which I am told is working. Now, maybe it's not working always and with everyone, but in the vast majority of situations it is. We have obtained that the bonds or the payments which had to be made on some countries in Africa have been waived, so they don't have to be made for those who are coming to the World Cup. No government has obtained that for their citizens. We obtained it for the fans. Of course, it is unfortunate as well what happened to Omar, the referee from Somalia. But again, we don't control everything. We try, we will discuss, we will speak, we will see. Maybe sometimes it's good as well to just, chill, relax. We work on everything. We try to solve everything. Sometimes to immediately start screaming and shouting has the opposite effect of finding a solution. Believe me when I tell you, or don't believe me if you don't want, but we try always to find solutions. Always. But then we need to respect that we are not the kings of the world who can rule over governments and police forces and I don't know what. We are a sports organization. We try to do our best with the means that we have to make as much as possible. And in this, and I conclude, we want to unite the world. And if I can ask you one thing, again, if you want to criticize me, it's fine. It's okay. But promote the unity of the World Cup. Promote people coming to the World Cup, feeling those emotions that all of you have been feeling when you were children, and I hope you can still feel them now, because we want to unite the world. And speaking about uniting and unity, I want to give you two more pieces of information. Also there I've been reading a lot and I've not been saying anything. So we just have reached an agreement and signed a memorandum of understanding with FIFPro, the Players Union. And this is good news. It's about unity, about bringing everyone together, because we've always been having dialogues. Now sometimes you don't agree. When you don't agree, well, you can go and say it to everyone, or you can sit down and discuss and see what makes more or less sense. So we signed a memorandum of understanding with FIFPro. Everything is agreed. We have an agreement of the Players Union, of the EFC, the European Football Clubs, and of the World Leagues Association on the new version of the regulation for a status and transfer of players. This is very important as well. This is $7, $8, $9, $10 billion moving from one country to the other, helping training clubs. This has to be regulated. And because of a case, the so-called Diarra case, we had to revisit it. We did. We made an agreement as well with Diarra, without any compensation, without, of course, any liability from FIFA, but just discussing with common sense. And everyone now is on board. We have a new regulation. It will be approved, hopefully, very, very soon by the FIFA Council, by the Bureau. I already approved it. My colleagues, I'm sure they will approve it, hopefully, as well. And we will be able to start the World Cup and then also the transfer season and so on with a much more united landscape in the world of football. Thank you very much. The floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Gianni. Okay, time for questions. Please wait for the microphone. One question each per organisation. I want to try and get to as many of you as possible. If you could state your name and organisation. So we'll go first, please, on the front row. Gentleman. Okay, front row here. Second here. This gentleman here.
Buenas tardes.
Es un templo de fútbol, será la tercera inauguración en la historia, ningún otro estadio lo tiene. Se remodeló el estadio también por los próximos, un estadio que se vuelve funcional por los próximos años. ¿Qué sensación tiene, presidente, usted de esta inauguración con todo lo que se envuelve en estos últimos años y de tener un partido de la selección mexicana, por supuesto, inaugurando la Copa del Mundo? Gracias, presidente.
Muchas gracias por la pregunta. Bueno, la verdad, como presidente de FIFA es una emoción única para mí estar en ese estadio inaugurando el Mundial número 23. Yo nací un día 23, el 23 de marzo, pero eso no tiene nada que ver. Pero sí nací en 1970, que fue el año del primer Mundial en México, y mi papá, y esto me emociona mucho, me contaba de este estadio que por inmigrantes italianos en Suiza parecía algo en otro planeta, pero que nos dio a mis padres tanto orgullo, y por los resultados de la selección italiana, por supuesto, pero también por este Brasil increíble, Pelé, que ganó este mundial con un equipo absolutamente increíble. 86, lo mismo con Diego, una emoción también única. Bueno, nos recordamos el el gol de Diego, la final con Alemania. La verdad, creo que este estadio está bendito, blessed, ¿no? Es bendito de los dioses del fútbol, porque ha visto cosas increíbles, de poder albergar el tercer partido de inauguración de un mundial, del primer mundial que se coorganiza en 3 países, porque eso también es importante, parece nada, pero es importante que 3 países como México, Estados Unidos y Canadá trabajen conjuntamente para organizar el mayor evento del mundo, y demuestra que cuando queremos lo podemos hacer. Y creo que la magia del Azteca ha jugado un papel importante. Gracias. Gracias.
Gracias. Okay, we'll go to third row. Gentleman in the glasses there. Third row. The third row at the back. Third row. Aquí. Keep going. There. Yeah. Thank you.
Sí, hola Gianni, José Luis Díaz del diario AS. Llevamos muchos meses hablando de todos los problemas, has estado tú media hora hablando de los problemas que se han suscitado y solucionado, pero estamos hablando muy poquito de fútbol. Creo que estamos ante el momento que todos esperamos durante 4 años. ¿Qué se espera de este Mundial? Vuelven a estar Messi, vuelven a estar Cristiano, estarán dentro de 4 años otra vez, seguro, conociéndoles. ¿Qué expectativas tiene FIFA sobre este Mundial y sobre, bueno, qué opinión tienes tú en concreto? ¿Favoritos o no favoritos? Háblanos un poco de fútbol.
Claro. Bueno, muchas gracias, absolutamente. Creo que va a ser, y no soy yo que lo digo, que no entiendo muy poco de fútbol, como sabéis, pero tengo gente a mi alrededor que conoce muy bien el fútbol. Este Mundial va a ser seguramente uno de los más espectaculares de la historia, porque ya hoy es muy difícil ver quién puede ganar este mundial. En pasados mundiales había siempre 2, 3 favoritos, luego había una sorpresa, pero en este mundial la verdad es muy, muy difícil, ¿no? Pueden ser los europeos, España, Francia, Inglaterra, Alemania, Italia, no, Portugal, por supuesto, puede ser Brasil, Argentina, bueno, Ecuador, Colombia tienen muy buenos equipos también, puede ser Marruecos o Senegal, de África, sorpresas, no sé, Japón tiene muy buen equipo también y lo hemos visto, Noruega tiene buen equipo, va a ser muy difícil ver o decirlo anteriormente quién puede ganar. Y por eso creo que va a ser espectacular. Va a ser espectacular también porque vamos a tener distintos equipos que juegan en distintas partes de los 3 países. La altura en Ciudad de México, clima tropical en Miami, en el oeste de Estados Unidos, otro clima. Otra vez, estadios cerrados, estadios abiertos. Un partido más para ganar, no 7, sino 8 partidos para ganar. ¿Cómo hacer la química de las selecciones, de los equipos entre ellos? Pero, bueno, yo creo que hoy todos los equipos tienen una preparación tal y el fútbol nunca ha sido mejor como juego, que la verdad lo vamos a disfrutar. Las canchas son espectaculares, hemos invertido ahí también mucho dinero en los últimos 5 años para prepararlas, para que tenemos las mismas condiciones en Miami, en Vancouver o en Ciudad de México. Y bueno, que sea una fiesta y que la fiesta comience ya. Gracias.
Just a reminder, please, your name and organisation. Row 4, there.
Thank you. Dan Rowan, BBC. Mr. President, you say people should chill and relax about these situations, but you've got one of the world's top referees told he can't enter the United States, sent back home, accused of having links with suspected terror organizations. We have Mexico having to change their training, Iran having to change their training base here to Mexico. We have fans and journalists from a number of countries who aren't able to attend this World Cup because of travel bans or visa restrictions. You yourself have said in the past how important it is to have freedom of movement at a global event like this. You've said how inclusive it is, how welcoming it is as well. Are you embarrassed, therefore, by what actually has come to pass? And do you have to accept that you've lost some control of your own tournament here?
Thanks for... You're from BBC? BBC. You know, in 2035, I think, we hope, the Women's World Cup will be in the UK, right? Still needs to be a decision, but looks like. Would you find it normal that FIFA would dictate to the British government who to let in the country and who not to let in the country? I don't know. Maybe you find it normal. I would like, personally, on the other side, the reality of the matter is that in every country there are governments. Try to get into the UK, into Germany, into Switzerland, without a visa. Try to get a visa if you are from a certain country. It's not easy, that's what I want to say. It's not easy when you have 300,000 accredited people, majority of which from outside of the US, to process them, to vet them. You don't know, unfortunately, our world is, a very aggressive world, and security goes above everything, and you need to respect the decisions which are taken. And when I say to chill, I don't mean to chill and do nothing. I mean to trust us that we are working behind the scenes, we are trying to understand, and there are things we can know, things we cannot know, things we are told, things we are not told, and we always try to make the situation as positive as possible and to find solutions. Sometimes we manage, other times not. You know, I think it has already been successful to bring Iran to play in America. I don't know who would have managed to do that. And of course, everyone here believes it's the right thing to do. But, you know, again, we don't live on the moon, we live on planet Earth, and you have to deal with different situations. We try to do our best. We try to do our best.
Thanks,
and I hope we'll have some good news.
Gentleman in the front row. Thank you.
Presidente John Sotli de ESPN. Yo le quiero hacer una pregunta a Gianni Infantino, el ser humano. Hoy vivimos un tiempo que hay gente en guerra, gente que no se lleva, falta de empatía. ¿Cómo estos 39 días pueden ayudar a toda esa gente por todo el mundo que no se lleva? A ver si por lo menos empiezan a tratar de llevarse. Gracias.
Gracias por la pregunta. Yo creo, la verdad, creo en la magia, en la potencia del balón de fútbol, de este trofeo, de la Copa Mundial de la FIFA, de estos partidos de este Mundial. Yo soy, bueno, como todos, veo la situación en la cual está el mundo. Además de esto, todos tenemos nuestros propios problemas personales en cada lugar del mundo. Pero creo también que un evento de una magnitud, de una importancia, de una potencia trascendental como un mundial puede ayudar, porque estoy convencido que el ser humano es bueno y no malo, profundamente bueno y no malo. Y aunque algunos malos hay, por supuesto, y algunos quieren y piensan que solamente, no, una cosa que se oye siempre, solo malas noticias es noticia, creo que no es así, porque lo vivimos siempre, lo vivimos en el último Mundial en Qatar, donde teníamos miedo de tener aficionados de 32 países en el mismo lugar, al mismo tiempo. Normalmente hay aficionados de 2 países en la misma ciudad y hacemos todos planes de seguridad porque una parte de la hinchada se venga de aquí, otra parte se venga de allá para que no se encuentren y todo esto. En Qatar estaban todos ahí juntos durante un mes. ¿Y qué pasó? No pasó nada. Amistades, felicidad, la gente no hablaba los idiomas, pero comían juntos, jugaban al fútbol, porque la gente quiere estar juntas y quiere tener un momento de felicidad. Y creo entonces, y también pienso a mi situación cuando era niño, cuando no teníamos nada con mis padres, con mis amigos emigrantes en Suiza. Bueno, el Mundial era la ocasión de tener un orgullo, de tener una fiesta, de tener un momento de compartir una emoción con alguien y la verdad creo que nuestro mundo, sobre todo hoy, es lo que necesita y por eso lo que les pido es transmitir esta emoción positiva a todo el mundo. Luego los problemas que hay, bueno, los hablamos y los resolvemos. Gracias.
Okay, next question over this side. 6 at the top. Thank you.
John Willinger from News 24 in South Africa. President, you've said that you need to promote the unity of the World Cup. But when the bulk of these games are going to a country whose stance has gone against that, promoting unity, do you regret the US being one of the co-hosts of this World Cup, given that the bulk of the hiccups and challenges from this tournament have come from the administration?
Do I regret what? Did you hear? Do I regret what? No, I don't regret anything. I think, I mean, you know, I've been organizing events for the last, I don't know, 30 years probably, between UEFA and FIFA. I'm pretty much, I'm looking at my colleagues here, I'm pretty much used to deal with issues. If there are no big issues, there are small issues, and the small issues become big issues as well. The press conference I made 3.5 years ago, you all remember that. The issues there were different, probably bigger. We were giving, and I was feeling that I have to give the voice to all those who are unheard, the global south or whatever I've been told. So, you know, there are issues, as it's normal for an event of this magnitude. I'd always hope there are no issues, but hey, that's what we have to deal with. Some come from the United States, some from Canada, some come from Mexico. We deal with all of them, and we have the same positive spirit. Hopefully we can solve all of them. Probably not, but we still do our best.
Okay, thanks. Front row here. Thank you. Tom, in front. In front. Yeah. In front, Tom. Front row. Thank you.
Hola, presidente, ¿cómo estás? Marina Granciera de Caracol de Colombia. Quisiera preguntarle por... sí. Quisiera preguntarle por el nuevo protocolo de himnos que van a tener en la Copa del Mundo. Esta semana fue una gran novedad y quisiera saber cómo va a funcionar y cómo llegaron a la conclusión de que eso sería una novedad importante para esta Copa del Mundo. Gracias.
Gracias. Bueno, gracias por la pregunta. Y ya vamos a ver cómo va a ser, ¿no? No, the new protocol. ¿Contesto en inglés o majority English o Spanish? Español. Español. Es que mi español no es tan bueno. Bueno, vamos a intentar. Vamos a intentar, porque es una pregunta, la verdad, muy importante, muy interesante. Por primera vez vamos a tener todos los jugadores, los 26 jugadores que van a ir al campo. Las banderas van a ser enormes y el himno nacional se va a escuchar con las banderas enormes y con todo el equipo ahí en el campo. ¿De dónde nació? Bueno, como sabéis, nosotros siempre queremos hacer nuevas cosas y he entendido, bueno, esto tiene que ser algo de americano, business, no sé qué, showtime. No, esto nació de una conversación que tuve yo con Alessandro Del Piero. ¿Conocéis a Alessandro Del Piero? Alessandro Del Piero un día, hace unos meses, me dice: ¿por qué no piensas a poner todos los jugadores en el campo durante el himno? Y digo, ¿por qué? Porque somos todos parte del mismo equipo. No sé si es porque cuando él marcó uno de los goles más lindos de los mundiales, que era el 2-0 de Italia contra Alemania en Dortmund en el Mundial 2006, él entró del banquillo. O sea, en el banquillo entró y marcó este gol increíble. No sé si es por esto que me lo dijo, pero me dijo, sí, somos todos parte del mismo equipo. Y para mí tenía razón, y entonces hemos empezado a hablarlo todos juntos. I broke the news here. You didn't know, nobody knew this, right? Me parecía interesante, lo hablamos con otras personas de fútbol, jugadores, entrenadores, y todos pensaban que era una buena idea de hacer participar a todos los jugadores. Porque en el fútbol de hoy tenemos 11 en el campo, 5 sustituciones, pueden ser 6, puede ser hasta una más. Y durante un mundial pueden jugar, la verdad, todos los jugadores. Y entonces hacer que puedan sentirse parte de este momento tan emocional, que es el momento del himno nacional, creo que es algo de positivo para todos los jugadores, la gente, la afición, y espero que se vea de esta manera. Luego vamos a ver cómo funciona, no lo sé. Esto nos vamos a sorprender. Gracias por la pregunta.
Okay, thank you. Second row, please. 5 in.
Hi, Rob Harris from Sky News.
Hi, Rob.
We've heard you talk about how you need to raise money for football, also about how you want to focus on the football. Football needs fans. They bring the passion. You were once a fan growing up who couldn't afford tens of thousands of dollars for a ticket. Your friend Donald Trump said he wouldn't pay $1,000 for a ticket. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said it's unacceptable for fans to be exploited. Are Trump and Starmer wrong, or do you apologise to fans who feel ripped off and priced out, and will you look to ensure that prices do come down and never as high again?
Well, let me say one thing as well at the outset. Let me congratulate Mayor Mamdani from New York. I was with him day before yesterday, actually. I have to congratulate him because he put on sale 1,000 tickets at $50 a couple of months ago, and since then he gets fantastic news. We put on sale 130,000 tickets at $60, and we don't get great news. Probably has better communication people than us, or probably he's better than me, I don't know. But I want to congratulate him, of course, for that and for that initiative as well. And to reiterate that the starting price is at $60, that the market, everything I said before, the market is here what it is, that if you sell it at a lower price point, and again, this has been part of intense and extensive analysis in this particular market, it would have gone, which is perfectly legal in this country, in secondary markets at much, much, much higher prices. And where would the money go then? Well, to those who organize secondary market or black market activities, and not to football. So every dollar that comes in goes back into the development of football. We have one competition every 4 years that generates revenues. The 47 other months out of the 48 of 4 years, we are investing this revenue in the growth of the game. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody. This allows us to maintain as well free TV. I said we could put everything on pay. We would generate 30 billion revenues, probably. But then you have billions of people in the world who would not be able to watch the World Cup. So the soul and the heart is the fans in the stadiums, it's the fans in the fan zones, it's the fans at home, it's every football fan. We want to bring the World Cup to every football fan. And this is what this price structure is. This is what dynamic pricing is as well. We had the Club World Cup last year. The prices of some matches went up, others went down. In this situation, they could have gone down as well. They didn't really go down. This shows that maybe the price point was the right one. As FIFA president, I have the statutory responsibility to generate the income which allows FIFA to invest in all of these countries where otherwise nobody would invest. And I know that, some people from some parts of the world, maybe they don't care about that. But at some stage, we need to think as well of them. And if nobody thinks of them, well, we do. We do think of the majority that doesn't speak, that doesn't have voice, that doesn't have anything. In FIFA, they have a vote as well. I've also heard saying, well, this money just goes to the federations to secure power or stuff like this. Well, tell me, where should the money go otherwise? Well, to finance corrupt practices? I don't think so. It has to go to the federations. It is checked, and it is invested to give children hopes and dreams. We are building 100 academies all over the world, again in countries nobody put their feet in, and at some stage we have to accept as well that democracy is not just an empty word. And if we accept democracy, we have to accept the one member, one vote situation, and that if we were putting on a vote certain things, well, they would go in a certain direction. This is what makes FIFA different from anyone else. I know that there was some medieval practice in some parts of the world, and you know which ones, where rich people would have more votes than poor people. I don't know if you would like, not you, but if anyone would like to go back to that system. Maybe some would like. Well, it's not right. It's not going to happen. Thanks God this is the medieval, and we are now in the second, how do you call it, 21st century, right? So we continue to invest. We continue to thank everyone who helps us investing in football all over the world, and we want to see players from all over the world play. In the Club World Cup last year, only in the final, we had players from 16 different nationalities and 5 different continents playing. This would be impossible without the World Cup, without the revenues generated at the World Cup, and it would be irresponsible if we don't generate the right revenues in this market as the right revenues in every market that we do. Look at Cape Verde. Do you think Cape Verde would ever had the chance to qualify for a World Cup? They qualified. For them it's, maybe nobody cares about Cape Verde or Curaçao, but for them it's the most important thing in the world, and for me as well. Haiti, they don't play in their home since 5 years. 5 years. And they qualify to the World Cup. I've been to see Haitian boys and girls in Miami. I was in Haiti some years ago. And to be able to give them this is priceless. This is priceless. Thank you so much.
Okay, question over here at the front. Gentleman with the glasses.
Bonjour.
Yep.
Mehdi Foudi, for beIN Sports. Pour diversifier un peu, je vais vous poser la question en français, après l'anglais et l'espagnol. Monsieur le Président, je pense que nous n'avons pas vécu autant de défis lors de l'édition passée au Qatar, qui a été pourtant critiqué injustement, même avant le coup d'envoi, et à la fin, il aura établi des standards très élevés sur le plan sportif, avec une finale considérée comme l'une des plus grandes de l'histoire, avec un niveau globalement très très salué, mais au-delà des records économiques que cette édition devrait naturellement battre, j'aimerais bien savoir quels sont les critères de réussite pour la FIFA. Qu'aimeriez-vous voir se produire sur le terrain pour pouvoir dire à la fin que voilà, cette édition a dépassé celle du Qatar?
Écoutez, pour que cette édition soit un succès, je pense qu'il faut que les gens soient heureux. Si on arrive à faire en sorte que tout ce que je disais avant, je ne vais pas répéter tout ce que je disais avant, mais que les gens puissent oublier pendant un moment 90 minutes d'un match, les 3 matchs, les 8e, quart, demi-finale, 16e de finale, la finale, pendant 39 jours, puissent oublier un petit peu leurs problèmes et avoir un sujet de discussion avec leur famille, avec leurs enfants, avec leurs parents, leurs grands-parents, et que les gens sont heureux, un petit peu heureux. Là, ça aurait été un succès. Après, j'espère évidemment de voir des buts incroyables sur le terrain, de voir des matchs époustouflants, Tout est fait pour, clairement, d'avoir la sécurité dans les stades, d'avoir pas d'accident. Ça c'est crucial dans les stades, mais aussi dans les villes. Évidemment, c'est un des défis les plus grands de cette Coupe du Monde, c'est les distances, c'est 3 pays différents, tout ce qui est en termes d'organisation. Comme moi, je parle des 300 000 personnes accréditées qui travaillent sur la Coupe du Monde, je ne compte pas tous ceux des différents gouvernements qui travaillent aussi ensemble, dans les 3 pays, mais aussi en dehors, les corps de police, d'armée, etc., qui doivent coordonner pour que ça soit une Coupe du Monde sûre. Et pour qu'elle soit sûre, je pense qu'on arrive à désenfler certaines des polémiques et travailler sur des messages positifs, ça serait quand même beau. Merci beaucoup. Ceci dit, Qatar, c'est exceptionnel.
Okay, over here, gentleman, 4th row at the back.
Diego Macías de Olé, de Argentina. ¿Qué tal, cómo estás? Primero, darte en vivo el agradecimiento a Enrique Macaya Márquez, que por un familiar me acaba de agradecer el mensaje con el cual arrancaste la charla. Y le voy a preguntar, para Argentina fue muy importante la confirmación de que Messi iba a estar en el Mundial. Para Argentina lo es. ¿Qué es para el Mundial tanto que esté Messi como la afición argentina y sus características?
¿Qué?
¿Qué importante es para el Mundial, más allá de Argentina, que esté Messi? ¿Y qué importante, cómo puede ser para ese color de unidad la afición argentina?
Bueno, la afición argentina es absolutamente espectacular, excepcional. En el Mundial en Qatar, me acuerdo que 2 horas después de los partidos todavía estaban 20, 30 mil argentinos en el estadio a cantar muchachos y todo, muchachos, no, fantástico. Y la afición en un mundial es algo de espectacular. Hemos vivido también el año pasado en el Mundial de Clubes, los aficionados de River y de Boca, espectaculares también. Creo que la afición de las selecciones es más familiar también, porque hay padres con hijos, con mujeres, familias que vienen, y lo vamos a vivir no solo con la afición argentina, pero con muchas aficiones que lo van a disfrutar en este Mundial. Bueno, el hecho que Leo Messi juegue este Mundial es, por supuesto, bueno, es muy importante para Argentina. Es muy importante por toda la gente que le gusta el fútbol, por el Mundial. Es lo mismo con todos los grandes jugadores, Ronaldo, Mbappé, Dembélé, Haaland, Yamil, todos. Y todos los que olvido, que ahora me vais a matar porque se olvidó de este o de este. Harry Kane. Brian Swanson,
Andy Robertson
y todos, ¿no? Cada uno tiene su propio ídolo. Mi ídolo cuando era niño, y no le interesa a nadie, pero se lo digo de toda manera, era Evaristo Becalossi, que se murió hace un par de semanas, y le doy un abrazo, que para mí hubiera tenido que jugar titular en la selección de Italia en el 82. Nunca jugó en la selección italiana y Italia ganó el Mundial y lo celebramos de toda manera también con Paolo Rossi, al cual le doy también un abrazo. Gracias.
Okay, thanks. Last question, Wall Street Journal.
I wanted to ask how you would characterize the relationship you've had with President Trump, the cooperation or not that you've gotten from this administration and the previous one, and lastly, how you would describe what you've done to keep President Trump on side over the past year, including the FIFA Peace Prize.
Thanks for the question. Well, I have a great relationship with President Trump. I'm very happy about that. I got to know him during his first mandate, and we have been working very closely together now in his second term. Without his engagement and his involvement, I think it would have been impossible, as simple as that, it would have been impossible to organize a World Cup in the United States. He understood immediately the magnitude of the World Cup, the impact of the World Cup, and instructed as well, of course, the administration to help and assist. Now you're speaking about the biggest power in the world, so of course there are certain things that have to be taken into account. We've been discussing about them earlier. But to be able to exchange with the President on important topics, with his administration, to put everything on the table without asking for anything, but trying to explain, I think is probably the key to having a positive relationship. That's the way I see it.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry?
That's it. All for time, thank you. That's us finished. That's us wrapped. Finished? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, mediafifa.org for any questions. Otherwise, thank you for your time and enjoy the tournaments. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy the World Cup. Thank you so much. And don't give a hard time to the two coaches who will come afterwards. Huh?
Filo.